What's up, everybody? It's Red, White, and Black of the Trio of Lunatics saying welcome back. Now, I know y'all been waiting for some content for my singles channel, and I'm finally about to give it for you, man. It's a new year, you know what I'm saying? It's time to put up some new channels. It's time to put up some new videos for my new channels, for both of them. We're gonna put up some new channels too soon, but right now we just focus on this right now. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna talk about my top 10 favorite video games of all time. And I ain't just talking about for the year or for the decade or none of that, of all time. You know what I'm saying? I got a good list going on right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and start and get into it. Top 10, bitch.
Top 10.
Alright, so here's what we got at number 10. We got Pokemon Go, and it was released October 15th, 2000. Now, I was like 7 or 8, give or take, when this game came out. This game is 100% defined as my childhood. I'm gonna go ahead and start that off right there. When I think of a game I played nonstop as a child, it was definitely Pokemon Go. Pokemon handheld games, was still one of the most popular series of all times. Game Boy Color was one of the first consoles I remember owning. I was ignoring homework and sometimes outside life was the norm for me, and I became a Pokemon fan because of this game entirely. From the crappy backlight to the sound coming from the speaker, this game was always one of them special games that had a special place in my heart. Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile was a second gen starters, I believe, and I remember my starter being Cyndaquil. As I was saying, this game took me years to beat, like a long time. I'm not going to front. Catching legendary Pokemon like Lugia and Ho-Ho and facing gym leaders was the best and made me feel satisfied after beating them. My Game Boy Color unfortunately stopped working on me, and I'm trying to salvage what's left of my GBA, which is a Game Boy Advance for those that don't know. But I do recall having a Pokemon on level, I think, 118 while I was playing it. And the last installment I played was Moon. And Moon was the shit. That was probably another Pokemon game I really enjoyed. But I want to get back into the Pokemon series soon and for old time's sake. So that's number 10. And like I said, Pokemon, they would never go out of style. They've been around forever. For as long as I can remember, they've been around. But Sword and Shield right now on the current, they're on what's that, the Nintendo 3DS, I believe, or it could be another. I could be wrong, but I believe it is on 3DS. So that's number 10. Number 9 was Batman Arkham City. Now this one I was kind of having a little fight with, because the Arkham series was like the best to me. Besides Origins, I hated Origins. It took me a minute to choose between City and Night, but because Night was like, it had to be good, because by that supposedly being the last of the Batman series, I came to the conclusion with City. Don't get me wrong though, I like Asylum, but you were very limited to where you could go, being forced to stay on the island. The city allowed you to roam around as much as you should in the Batman game. Night was great in his own way too, but City has a few advantages over Night. First off, by Bruce Wayne having his secret identity threatened to be revealed was the highlight of this game, and the story starts off great and ends on a better note. Having the advantage of gliding around a much larger city felt so natural and felt that much more like a Batman game. I can't forget, you can play as Catwoman. Like that's badass. Like Catwoman, a bad bitch. I always wanted to play as Catwoman. I love Catwoman, but the only takeaway from me was, well, you know what I'm saying, was how she was using her whip to scale buildings. Like, that's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? Whips can't attach to buildings. But besides that, I loved how both her and Batman different fighting styles, athleticism and speed. Both are in Arkham City for different reasons, and both of their adventures cross paths. You know what I'm saying? Two-Face, Penguin, Scarecrow, and many others of Batman's foes are shown around the city, making the best of this opportunity. It was fun because you have Riddler trophies make their return along with his riddles, Joker was the biggest wild card, of course. He became sick with the Titan virus. Joker injected Batman with his blood and sick patients in the hospitals to kind him and to find the cure. Like, that was like the plot of the whole story. It was pretty damn good. While trying to save yourself from dying because of the virus, Batman is trying to figure out what something called Protocol 10, announced by Dr. Hugo Strange. That is, Batman is equipped with some new gadgets like freeze blasts, grenades, and smoke bombs, while others make their return from the prequel. You know what I'm saying? The combat mechanic has been improved from the first Batman game as well, reversing thrown objects at him and countering enemies to more than one enemy at one time at that. You know what I'm saying? That was the best Batman game ever. I honestly don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably one of my favorite Batman games that's ever came out. Number 8 was Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. That was released what's that? November 16th, I believe, 2004. Yeah, for the PlayStation 2. This was my favorite Dragon Ball Z game, and probably always will be. Wasn't too much of a fan of the Tenkaichi series, even though it had much better character selection, but much better. But the gameplay is why the game made my list. You know what I'm saying? 3D characters fighting in the 2D aspect developed some of the best fight games in my experience. Before Super was even thought of, Super Saiyan 4 was the strongest form of Goku and Vegeta, and this was the first game to showcase that transformation to my knowledge. GT was all we had after Z, and even though GT was complete trash, hint hint, we had to make it work. We were able to play as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as well, and I really liked the story mode on the game too. What else can I think of? Dragon Universe, aka the story mode, was fun to play by having you fly around the world to your objective, and the character selection wasn't that bad neither. It had some characters from GT for potential dream fights. Great fighting game. I would definitely recommend anyone to play. Who doesn't know the Dragon Ball story? Well, let's not get into that, because I'll be all day. You know what I'm saying? But Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 was probably my favorite fighting game at that time, and I played it non-stop, and to this day I still play it, even as a 28-year-old man. Super Smash Bros. Brawl at number 7. That was released March 9th 2008 for the Wii in North America, to my knowledge. Coming in at number 7, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This was kind of hard too, a little bit, because I really liked Melee. It gets better with every installment. That's one of the series that's always been getting better with every installment, so that's a given. It's hard to decide between Melee and Brawl, but I landed on Brawl. Even though the story mode on Smash Bros. I never liked. I hate all of them because they're all trash, especially the newest one. I just think it's trash. But Melee had the best out of all of them. Brawl, of course, had a better roster than Melee. That's why it was hard to choose. Characters like Wario, I lived to play as. What was a big improvement on Brawl was Sonic finally making his debut, which was a big deal for me. The gameplay remains the same as always, knocking your opponents off the stage. The game is more fun to play with others, as you know. I'm sure everyone who plays video games knows what Smash Bros is, so let's continue on with the list. So I ain't going to bore y'all further with the details on number 7, but number 7 most definitely was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Number 6 is Sonic Adventure 2. That came out, let me think for a second. I know it came out in June. I think it came out June 23rd, 2001 for the Dreamcast. That was the original release. Battle came out a little bit more later. That was for the GameCube. I commissioned Dreamcast to some young adults, and they would look at me with a puzzled expression, let alone the original Xbox for some fucking reason. Thanks for making me feel old, you bastards. But I will give you an excuse for not knowing what the Dreamcast was by it being a forgettable console. However, as we all know, Sega is most notably known for their mascot, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Adventure 2 was the best game Dreamcast produced in my opinion, and it was part of the reason why I received the Dreamcast. SA2 was very well designed. It was a very well designed game that took a lot from the original and made it better. This is by far my favorite Sonic game of all time, and with the games they've been releasing recently under the Sonic umbrella, it probably will always be. Well, anyway, the premise is always about the same. Sonic and his friends Knuckles and Tails trying to stop Dr. Robotnik or Eggman, whatever people want to call him, from taking over the world. But the story has a twist in the plot. For the first time ever, a new character has been implemented in the game. Excuse me, which is Shadow. Eggman's grandfather, I believe, devised a plan to blow up the world and is solely responsible for creating the ultimate life form, which is Shadow the Hedgehog. Rogue the Bat, a spy, made her introduction in the Sonic franchise as well. I don't recall seeing her in the game before, but I'm probably wrong about that too. The game is split off into 3 play styles, which is action, shooting, and treasure hunting. Action are occupied by Sonic and Shadow. Shooting stages are for Tails and Eggman, and treasure hunting stages belong to Knuckles and Rouge. The game has memorable music. I love the music. I still listen to it to this day to complement the gameplay as well. A GameCube version was released later on. What was that? The year after, in February, called Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, which focuses on multiplayer aspect of the game. Action stages are the best, shooting stages are the worst. So that was number 6, Sonic Adventure 2. So if you haven't played it yet, man, please go pick it up. That's probably the best Sonic game that's still out there to this day. Donkey Kong Country 5. Donkey Kong Country 2 came in at number 5. Donkey Kong Country 2 was number 5, released December 14th, 1995 for the Super Nintendo. I was about to say the regular too. SNES in North America. It was a pop culture icon, an instant classic, a memory of your childhood, a pure platformer. Many titles this game has been called and is well deserved to be. A revamped sequel to our already well-received Donkey Kong Country, the story follows Diddy Kong and his girlfriend Dixie trying to save Diddy's best friend and rumored uncle Donkey Kong from K. Rool. The game is most known for its stages and beautiful music from David Wise. Cartwheeling and gliding through these levels as a kid was satisfying in every way, and being a 90s baby, you would think that this game defined everyone's childhood, as it should, but this game is second best in the category, for me. Still, after 25 years, this game is still one of the most played games out there and is now known for being a speedrun exclusive. And that's big. So to this day, the game continues to evolve, and this was easy for me because Donkey Kong Country 3 was trash and complete garbage, and I hope no one will ever think that Donkey Kong Country 3 was better than 2, because it's nowhere near. Coming in at number 4, it was Guitar Hero World Tour. It was released October 26, 2008 for the 360, the Wii, the PlayStation 2, and the PlayStation 3. So a lot of people didn't know that. So this, in my opinion, was the best out of the unnecessarily long series. Guitar Hero was unique in every way possible. Coming from out of nowhere, it quickly became a fan favorite amongst the gaming community and music lovers. Let's see, this franchise was one of the reasons why I got into the genre of music, most specifically rock music. Rock Band was the first to implement drums and microphones into the series to complete the band, but that wouldn't happen for Guitar Hero if Harmonix never left the franchise to begin with. The now legendary guitar controller returns to play what I think was the greatest playlist in Guitar Hero history. From tracks like Hotel California to Pull Me Under to Do It Again, I instantly fell in love with this playlist. This game was also the first time I completed a playlist on Expert, so let alone a song. I personally feel like the franchise should have took an extended break after this release, which it should, to avoid fatigue over the fan base. So the fans really grew tired of the franchise because they kept doing spin-offs, and it was Aerosmith and Van Halen, and it was just too much. You know what I'm saying? After Guitar Hero 5, I think that they should have just stopped or took a really long break, because they was making Guitar Hero games almost every year or every 6 months and within that year. And it was just, if you haven't played this game yet, then you are completely missing out. You know what I'm saying? That came out in the early 2000s, but a lot, well, I want to say early 2000s, I want to say late 2000s. So it was one of them games for me that, it got me into the genre of music, like I said, and it really was a different way of how people play games and listen to music. So coming in at number 3 was Def Jam Fight for New York. It was released September 21st, 2004. I know that very well, for the Xbox and PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. And a lot of people don't know what the GameCube is, but yeah, Nintendo had a GameCube. This was a direct sequel to Def Jam Vendetta. This game set the bar for fighting games in the mid 2000s and was one of the top selling games of PlayStation 2. That's facts. Because of the surprisingly well received Def Jam Vendetta, Fight for New York had to be born. It just had to be, because Vendetta was a great wrestling game. It went from an underground wrestling organization to a legal fight club setting, which was a fantastic transition for the franchise. And the story picks up right after from where the first game ended. D-Mob got arrested and he was on his way to jail until a mysterious person rescues him from the cops. They ran him over. The mystery character, whatever you want to call him, the default character, he ran over the cops car that D-Mob was in, and he saved them. You know what I'm saying? And that turned out to be your creative fighter. You know what I'm saying? Crazy to think you're working for the antagonist from the first game. You know what I'm saying? Once you've shown you're capable of handling yourself, then you handle you're handled by D-Mob, and you join his crew and you fight against his rival, which is Crow, to take over by winning fights against his crew. You get involved with a woman of your choosing after you win a few fights, and she is later kidnapped by Crow, forcing you to work for him to ensure his safety, turning your back on D-Mob in the process. After doing what he is asked of, you know what I'm saying, he wants him to kill Blaze, and after finding out her location for magic, he went there to be confronted by Sticky Fingers. She is killed by the warehouse being set on fire. And your character then goes after Crow at his office. You throw his punk ass out the fucking window and your crew takes over New York. So I kind of just summed up the whole plot of the game in less than 2 minutes. So they pretty much put everyone who was signed to the Def Jam at that time in the game. Most definitely still one of my favorite games of all time, and probably will always be. Another PlayStation 2 classic. PlayStation 2 had a lot of bangers. Let's not lie about that. You know what I'm saying? And coming up as another fucking banger is Tony Hawk Underground, which comes in at number 2. To no surprise, probably the best skateboard game ever. You know what I'm saying? Before Tony Hawk games start making shitty ass installments, like what begun it off was American Wasteland, and then Project A, and Underground 2 was trash, and it just went downhill from that. And even 5 was trash. They just re-released Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So, I mean, that was cool, you know what I'm saying? But the games before that was complete throw up. So, best skateboard game ever is, I think, that's all I should be said. That's all that should be said about this game. That's all I should be saying about this game. This was the 5th installment in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series, and it was a killer. First of all, it was the first game out of the series to have a story mode, and Tony Hawk games are known for not having story modes. This had a fucking story mode, which made it even more better. It was the first to also allow you to get off your fucking skateboard too, man, and walk around. You know what I'm saying? Every skateboard game should have that for you to get off the fucking board. But even though this game stuck to its original formula, it still felt like a completely different game. Your protagonist going from one city to another, traveling with your skate company to countries like Russia and Vancouver, really showcases how much time they have put into this game. Did I mention you could create your own special trick? It's a lot of skateboard games that don't do that. Dealing with that, you got a jealous asshole friend of yours called Eric, and all he wanted to do was just take away for you what you've been building up for yourself. So he was pretty much, you know what I'm saying, trying to get out your shadow, and he was a fucking backstabber. That made the game, to me, a little annoying at the end, but it served a great purpose. So it is what it is, whatever. But before I get into number one, man, here are some honorable mentions. All right, now here's a game to me. This is my coming in at number one, Jet Set Radio Future. Now that comes to a surprise. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That was released in February 25th, 2002 for the Xbox. That was the first fucking Xbox game. The first original Xbox game. So I know what y'all are thinking. How's this game my favorite, of all time? Well, shit. Let me tell you. This game was released as a double disc game alongside Sega GT 2002, and it was one of the first games, like I said, on the Xbox. And I have to admit that I wasn't quite keen on the Xbox when it first came out, so I didn't know much about the game until a year after the game came out. You know what I'm saying? So if you are a fan of anime, then you will most definitely like this game, because it's a pure anime. With the game setting taking place in a futuristic Tokyo, the story follows a group of roller skaters known as the GGs. You know what I'm saying? You go from a busy bus terminal to a nighttime light show like 99th Street and Highway Zero to complete various tasks like racing rival gangs, or you know what I'm saying, or a skater, to graffiti wars, to flag capture. It's just fucking nuts. If you were a 90s baby, then I'm positive you know what this game is. Some teenagers I talk to don't even know what the original Xbox was or what it looked like. Makes me feel fucking old as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not old as fuck. I'm still in my 20s. Well, anyway, this game was mad fun and I could literally play this game over and over and over and over and not get bored of it. Even after the story is over, you can head over to the multiplayer and play with your friends on the couch. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't played this game, I definitely will recommend you to give it a chance. This game is absolutely fucking beautiful, and I always have fun with the game. The soundtrack is fucking bomb. It's amazing, by the way. It's bomb. Nagunuma is his name. I think that's how you say his name. He was a fucking genius. He was the one that did the production for the damn music. So if you never play that game, I will definitely recommend it. You know what I'm saying? So, but there we go, folks. That's a top 10 games that made my list of favorite games of all time. If you want to hear the others list, shit, I'll be more than willing to ask them for it. But for right now, this is Red, White, and Black signing out. I want to say peace and Happy New Year, and I hope you all have a good one.